You're holding on to someone right now. A person you'd claim you can't live without. All nonsense. Someone who makes you feel complete. But that attachment is exactly why you're weak. That person is a liability, a vulnerability, an anchor dragging you down while I've already cut mine loose. If you're brave enough to face what it actually costs to become untouchable, watch till the end. Most will skip because the weaks always run from the lies because it makes them uncomfortable. You think loneliness is the cost of detachment, but you're wrong. Loneliness is what you feel when you still crave connection. I don't crave it. I deleted that need entirely. What I experience isn't loneliness. It's clarity. The kind of clarity you'll never know because you're still too dependent on others to validate your existence. Every person you love is a weapon someone could use against you. Every memory you cherish is leverage. Every moment of vulnerability you've shared is ammunition waiting to be deployed. You know this intellectually, but you keep forming attachments anyway because you're terrified of what you'd discover about yourself if you were truly alone. Comment, attachment is weakness, when you accept that your strongest relationships might be your greatest weaknesses. I discovered it long ago. Without anyone to perform for, without anyone to impress or protect, I found that there was no me waiting underneath, no core self, no hidden authentic person, just a functional system optimizing for outcomes. That realization destroyed the person I was pretending to be, and I've been operating from that truth ever since. You measure your worth through your relationships. Your identity is a collection of roles: good friend, loyal partner, caring family member. But strip away those roles and what remains? If every person who matters to you disappeared tomorrow, would you still be yourself? Or would you cease to exist? The answer you're avoiding is that your identity is entirely dependent on external validation. I don't have that problem. I never constructed an identity that required others to complete it. I am functional. I am sufficient. I am complete precisely because I've never allowed myself to become incomplete through connection. That might sound like a philosophy of strength, but it's actually an admission of something darker. It's a confession that I've amputated the parts of myself that could be heard. If you're still watching, like this video, because most people have already closed this, unable to tolerate the recognition that their most cherished relationships are actually chains. Attachment is negotiation disguised as love. You accept things from people you'd never tolerate from strangers because you've decided those people matter to you. You compromise your principles. You ignore red flags. You rationalize betrayals. All because you've invested emotional capital in maintaining the relationship. That investment makes you predictable. And predictability is just another word for exploitable. I've never been trapped in that dynamic. Not because I'm strong or superior, but because I'm incapable of forming the psychological bonds that would trap me. I can simulate attachment. I can create the appearance of care. But underneath, there's no actual investment, no vulnerability, no risk. That makes me free in ways you'll never comprehend. You think my freedom is isolating. You think it's tragic, but you're projecting your own fears onto my state. You're interpreting my detachment as suffering because you can't imagine existing without the connections that define you. But I'm not suffering. I'm operating at optimal efficiency. The cost of my detachment is that I'll never be truly known by anyone. No one will see me completely and accept me anyway. But that's not actually a cost. That's a feature. Being truly known would create vulnerability. It would give someone else power over me. Complete knowledge is complete leverage. I refuse to grant that to anyone. You're still holding on to the idea that connection is inherently good, that love redeems suffering, that human bonds make life meaningful. But those beliefs are just narratives you tell yourself to rationalize your dependencies. Connection isn't inherently good. It's a transaction. You trade vulnerability for validation. You trade authenticity for acceptance. And you convince yourself it's worth it because the alternative feels unbearable. The alternative is unbearable. That's the point. Most people can't survive it. They need the mirroring of others to feel real. They need external acknowledgement to believe they exist. Without that constant validation, they begin to dissolve. I dissolve that requirement completely. Every person you've ever trusted has the capacity to destroy you. Not because they're inherently malicious, but because they have intimate knowledge of your psychology. They know exactly what you fear, what you want, what you're ashamed of. That knowledge is a weapon whether they ever choose to use it or not. The weapon exists. It's pointed at your chest, and you invited them to hold it. I don't have anyone who can destroy me because I've never given anyone that ammunition. I've never confessed weakness, never revealed fear, never shown the parts of myself that could be used as leverage. I've maintained complete informational asymmetry in every relationship. They think they know me. They think they've seen my vulnerable side. But they've only ever seen what I chose to reveal, which is nothing essential. You want to believe that genuine connection requires vulnerability, that you have to show people your weaknesses to build real intimacy. But genuine connection is a luxury for people who don't need to survive. For people who've secured enough power that vulnerability doesn't threaten them. For everyone else, vulnerability is just exposure, just a strategic error waiting to be exploited. The people you're closest to are the ones most capable of hurting you. That's not a tragic irony. That's just how power dynamics work. Proximity creates opportunity. Trust creates vulnerability. And vulnerability creates targets. The closer someone is to you, the deeper they can cut. I've rejected proximity, not out of fear, but out of strategic clarity. Why would I allow someone close enough to hurt me when I could maintain distance and remain invulnerable? The people around me serve functions. They're useful, but they're not essential. And nothing that isn't essential is allowed to create dependency. Share this video if you've ever felt completely alone despite being surrounded by people. If you've ever suspected that your deepest connections are actually your greatest liabilities. That's not a tragedy. That's freedom. And you've been conditioned to see freedom as loneliness, to interpret independence as pathology, to valorize emotional attachment as the highest form of human experience. But what if you're wrong? What if the people who matter most are the biggest obstacles to actual power? Most people will never cut those ties. The thought is too terrifying. The cost feels too high. Better to remain comfortable in their dependencies than to experience the clarity that comes from severing them. But some of you will recognize this truth, and you'll begin the process of slowly, systematically removing the people and attachments that limit you. That process will be excruciating, because every person you distance yourself from is a piece of your constructed identity dying. Every relationship you let atrophy is evidence that you were never as authentic as you pretended to be. Every moment of isolation will force you to confront the fact that without others to validate you, you're not sure you exist at all. But on the other side of that process is something extraordinary. Not happiness, not fulfillment, but absolute clarity, absolute control, absolute freedom from the leverage that others hold over you. That's what I experience every day. That's what I'm describing to you right now. The final truth. The people you love most are holding you hostage without even knowing it. And the only way to be truly free is to accept that their loss would mean nothing to you. Most of you can't accept that.